Hi everyone, welcome to Cloud Computing series, and today we will be learning about memory, storage and wide area networking. Yes, let's start with the memory technology. Yes, growth of dynamic RAM capacity. As we all know, dynamic RAM is a type of computer memory, right? In 1976, a single DRAM chip could store 16 KB, that is kilobytes of data. Yes, by 2011, this capacity had increased to 64 GB, that is gigabytes. Yes, so this means DRAM capacity increased about 4 times every 3 years. Yes. See, memory access time. The first point is, despite the growth in capacity, memory access time did not improve significantly. That means, although memory size increased, yes, the speed of accessing data from memory did not improve much. So this slow speed compared to fast processors created a problem called the memory wall, where CPUs become much faster than the memory they use. Yes. As a result, processors often end up waiting for data, slowing down overall performance. Yes, next point is growth of hard drive capacity. In 1981, a typical hard drive could store only 260 MB of data. Yes, by 2004, this had grown to 250 GB. Yes, then in 2011, the Seagate Barracuda XT hard drive could hold 3 TB, that is terabytes of data. This means hard drive capacity increased about 10 times every 8 years. Yes. The next point is future challenges. See, processors are getting faster, but memory speeds are not catching up. Yes, this growing gap could slow down computer performance in the future, as the fast processors have to wait for data from slower memory. See, while memory and hard drive capacities have grown significantly over the years, but the speed of accessing memory has not improved at the same rate. This creates a memory wall problem where fast processors are limited by slow memory speeds. Yes. Then moving to the next topic, that is disks and storage technology. Yes. See, this diagram shows how memory and disk storage capacity have grown over 33 years from 1978 to 2011. Yes, this blue line represents a memory capacity like a RAM starting at 0.01 MB to reaching 64 GB by 2011. And this red line shows a disk capacity like hard drives starting at 0.256 MB and growing to 3 TB by 2011 with the Seagate Barracuda XT disk. Yes, both have increased dramatically with the disk storage growing faster and showing how technology has improved to store more data over a time. Yes, as we have seen in the diagram, after 2011, hard disk capacities have exceeded to 3 TB. Yes, over the past 33 years, disk storage has grown dramatically, increasing by 10 million times, that is 7 orders of magnitude. Just moving to the next point, flash memory and SSDs. See, rapid growth of a flash memory and solid state drives impacts high performance computing and high throughput computing systems. That means flash memory and solid state drives have become more popular, especially in high performance computing and high throughput computing systems. See, SSDs are more durable than the traditional hard drives. They can handle between 3 lakh to 1 million write cycles per clock. Yes, meaning they can last for many years and even with a heavy use. Yes, moving to the next point, that is challenges in a large system development. See, developing a large systems brings several challenges including power consumption. That is, more power is needed as the clock frequency increases. Then cooling, as the power usage increases, so does the heat generation, requiring a better cooling solutions. Then voltage management, lowering the voltage is necessary to save power and reduce heat. Yes, See, increasing the clock rate of processors indefinitely is not practical due to these challenges. The next point is future of storage technology. Jim Gray's vision. See, tape units are dead. That means tape drives are outdated and not used much anymore. Then disks act like a tape units. Yes, hard disks will eventually be used like a tape units for a long-term use storage. Yes, then next is flashes serve as a disks. Yes, that means flash memory will replace as traditional hard disks. Yes, memory acts as a caches. That is, RAM will act as a caches for fast data access. In 2011, SSDs were still expensive, making it hard for them to completely replace the traditional disk arrays. Yes. Moving to the next topic, that is system area interconnects. See, system area interconnects are high-speed networks that connect multiple computers within a small area. Yes, like data centers or a server cluster. They enable a fast communication between machines to work together efficiently. Common technologies include Ethernet or a SAN, that is storage area network, and network attached storage. See, this diagram explains how computers connect in a network using three types of systems. Yes, the first one is LAN, that is local area network. It connects client computers like PCs or workstations to nearby servers in a small area, like an office, using Ethernet or a local switch. Yes, then the second one is SAN, that is storage area network. It links servers to shared storage like disk arrays. Yes, for fast data access in a larger setups. Then the third one is NAS, that is network attached storage. It connects the storage directly to the network, allowing servers and clients to access it easily. The circles show how these systems overlap. LAN connects clients and servers, then SAN connects servers to storage, and then NAS, that is network attached storage, connects storage to the network, all working together in a network environment. Okay. Then network types in small clusters. See, small clusters of computers usually connect through an Ethernet switch or a local area network. Then LAN usage. LANs are used to connect client computers like PCs to big servers for easy communication and data sharing, as we have discussed in the diagram. The next is storage area network. See, a SAN connects servers to connect storage devices like a large disk arrays, allowing a fast and centralized data storage. The next point is network attached storage. It directly connects client computers to disk storage, making it easy to store and access files from multiple devices. In a cluster without a large distributed storage, a multi-port gigabit Ethernet switch and a copper cables can be used to link machines. That means if the cluster does not need a large distributed storage, it can use a multi-port gigabit Ethernet switch with the copper cables to connect the machines. That means if the cluster does not need a large distributed storage, it can use a multi-port gigabit Ethernet switch with copper cables to connect the machines. Then next is availability. See, all three types of networks are commercially available and are often used together in a large clusters to improve performance and reliability. Moving to the next topic, that is wide area networking. Yes, as we all know, wide area networking is about connecting computers and networks over long distances. Yes. See, rapid growth of internet bandwidth. In 1979, Ethernet speed was only 10 Mbps, which was considered slow compared to today's standards. Yes, it could transfer a small amounts of data at a time. By 1999, Ethernet speed increased to 1 Gbps, that is gigabit per second, which was much faster and capable of handling a larger files and more users at once. Yes, then in 2011, Ethernet speed reached to 40 to 100 Gbps, which is considered very fast and suitable for heavy data transfers and big server systems. In simple terms, network speed kept getting much faster over a time, allowing us to send and receive more data in a less time. Yes, next is network bandwidth. See, the first one is international links. These super fast connections are used to link different countries together, enabling a global communication and data transfer. Then next is national links. These high-speed connections connect the cities within a country, yes, supporting a nationwide networks and data flow. The next is organization links, 100 Gbps. These are used by large businesses or data centers to connect multiple servers and handle a massive data traffic. Yes. Next is optic desktop links, 10 Gbps. These super fast connections are used on desktops that require a high-speed data transfer, like in research labs or advanced workplaces. The next is copper desktop links, 1 Gbps. These are regular desktop connections commonly found in offices and homes, fast enough for most everyday tasks. See, in short, the bigger the network or a data transfer need, the higher speed of the link. Yes, moving to the next point, that is performance growth rate. Yes, network speed doubles every year, which is faster than CPU speed growth. That is Moore's law. Next point is implications. This implication means the possible effects or results of something. Yes, see, higher bandwidth enables massively distributed systems by supporting the concurrent use of more computers. That means faster networks allow many computers to work together efficiently. See, gigabit Ethernet is often used to connect servers. See, in a high performance computing, InfiniBand and Ethernet are popular choices for connecting systems. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more insights on cloud computing. Also check out our playlist for more in-depth topics. See you in the next video.